All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are, a good 6.5 hours into the November tournament game. And oh my goodness, it's going down. So you've had a chance to see the preliminary videos, all of our planning, everything that went into all of that. So it's coming to fruition now. It's really, really exciting. So let's just go ahead and start all the way down over here and move our way eastward from west to east here. So what we have here is a puzzling stack of 50 with 3 cars from Morocco who just crossed the canal and is moving northwest. Like maybe that's still, yeah, I guess routing it would still be the fastest way to get it to the frontier here with France. No, it wouldn't. It really wouldn't. The fastest way to get it would be along the coast here. There's no question. So I'm thinking maybe he's going to go for, would he actually, I don't know if he'd go for Portugal, but maybe. What's happening down here, of course, is that yeah, I love it that we've got right of way here with Portugal down here, and just causing him to have a hissy fit. Morocco, you're not the target, man. You're not. But we are sure scaring the shit out of you, and I love it. So scare tactics have been a big part of what we've done so far in this game, and I've been loving it so much. So scare tactics over here from pirates who have landed, keeping Morocco in check. Not sure why Morocco has taken half of his guys. I would say half of them are over here. The other half are over here, moving kind of arbitrarily away from where they need to be, I would think. You can see now Spain is concentrating on the spot we expected them to concentrate on, which is why we do have a level 2 fort here with a lot of backup continuing to accrue there. And by the way, Marcel can also send 3 in. Can't send them all because there's a guy right here, but can also send in. And then Bordeaux over here can also send people over at their leisure, according to the need. So I don't feel any threat over here, although that was my concern. The main landward threat would have been over here. So let's move our way eastward here, and let's talk about pirates. These 10 pirates are holding back. I think I estimated it around, we can't really guess it now, but I want to estimate it around, there was 10, 8, 8. So 26 on Ireland over here, 26, another 2, 4, and then all of these had, I mean, it was like 50 or 60 guys in Britain here. If there was nobody in the water at all, Britain had water scouts, which Britain does not have water scouts out at all. In a better world for Britain anyway, Britain would have water scouts out and would be able to vacate the home territories and move forward. But instead, again, Britain is being forced to hold back as much as half of their total forces to confront 10 guys, and up here 5 guys. Now I'm leaving with 4 of them, and I'll tell you why in just a minute. These are my harassers up here in Scotland. Again, 5 guys holding back 12 infantry and 1 armored car, as well as keeping people alert along the coast here. I'm just loving this harasser sort of thing. I did go ahead and take my 4 out of here to go ahead and kill this water scout. And then when I'm done with that, go ahead and get on the land here and intimidate Birmingham. The more pressure we put on England, the better. So speaking of England, what is England doing? England just brought a force of about 50. I think it's more like, 50, 48 with 2 cars. And they're coming down to attack Germany. Now, it's a pretty smart attack, and they have right-of-way here with Belgium. And so a lucky early right-of-way. I have no right-of-way yet. Got it. And I think the only right-of-way that anyone has at this point in the game is, I want to say Carried has right-of-way with Poland over here. Like, just useless. Our one defensive player who really needs to hold all of his stuff back to defend gets right of way, which is an offensive advantage. Like, of course, God damn it, of course. So everything else is going great and according to plan. We see now that Harkold has come in with the Ottomans to defend Italy. Italy has gone over with a lot of troops eastward, and then a lot of troops westward over here to help defend this frontier. So we got 20 down here. We've also got Austria-Hungary and a few Italian troops coming over to defend this attack from England. This attack from England should be okay. I built a fort as soon as I could, but you can see I'm still a couple hours away from building that 50% half fort. And we can see that these guys are going to land within that time frame, before that time frame. So really what has to happen here is we've really got to hope that they do not break down that half fort with that initial attack. And they are flowering here. Let's count the petals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. Because, this game has been contentious so far. One of our players accidentally spent 3 gold marks to rush a 7-second workshop. And we got penalized pretty heavily for that. 2,000 silver, 1,000 iron, 1,000 wood, and 1,000 oil. And then our opponents complained about it. Like, oh, we want a 12-hour GM push on one of our buildings or one of our units. And the referee basically was like, how about fuck off? So that was pretty cool. Also, paying attention over here. I think we're going to defend this just fine. I'm concerned about this fort, but we've got a lot more people coming in here. You can see I have 2 more armored cars. Personally, I've got 7 more infantry coming in. And then my allied units, all of these allies coming in as they stream in next, so-and-sos are going to be able to cover that. So you can see what I have that's going to be on the spot on time is 27 and 2. And then coming in additionally will be, let's just count my guys, 27 and 2, that's 44 and 2, 44 and 3. So 44 and 3 is what's going to be here to defend. And keeping in mind, hopefully I'll have that 50% defense on some of that. And then it looks like we have an additional 15 or 16, and then beefy cars. We got 4 cars coming in here that will really help to defend that. So I don't think this is really of much concern. It's a good attack, and it takes advantage of their goddamn lucky break to actually get through Belgium there. But it's not going to matter. So let's continue eastward. Let's take our tour east, shall we? We can see Russia coming to try to harass, and there's just none of that because all of our players are smart enough to keep one guy in each of these shoreline territories just defensively. So Harkold is not going to have any of that crap. Russia can lurk around as much as they want. Now, if this was a stack of 8 or 10, like we've been doing with our pirates, then that would be a threat. And then Harkold would have to hold some people back. But no, your little 1 water scouts are not going to do the trick. Sorry. So Harkold is free to sort of just generate troops in the homeland here, continue to defend Italy, and to also even, while he's threatening down here, also be sending defensive troops all the way up as far as, look at this, coming up to help me out here in Germany. So we've got a great team here. I'm just stoked about the team we've got going here. Everybody's playing on a really high level. Everybody's playing with a lot of attention, a lot of focus. And this is a big game. I could show you the exchange. I should. Let me just show you the exchange. It's worth looking at. Here we go, publicly shaming these people that we're playing against. So here's our tournament chat. We've been having fun with just back and forthing here. And I went ahead and shared with the boys here. By the way, not to say this is a boys club because we have a couple of women in our main team structure, and we're really looking forward to bringing them in. So here's what Andre said. We got penalized, that stiff penalty I told you about, for 3 gold marks. Accidental, didn't need to happen at all. 10 seconds of workshop got sped up. Here's what Andre on the opposite team said. This decision should have been discussed with our team. We require a build of our choice to be accelerated by 12 hours. The use of Goldmark provides for the exclusion of those who used it or in agreement, and there was no agreement. I want the issue to be reevaluated, and if our request is accepted, we will return the funds, because we'd already given them the funds by this point. Wolf Homie, the referee here, and one of the guys putting together the entire thing. By the way, Wolf Homie has been working tirelessly. I don't even know how he has enough hours of the day, because when you ask him a question, he answers right away. And there are 48 teams of 5 in this game alone, in this tournament alone, in this round. So he's working his ass off, this dude. And he's like, no, get over it. The decision is final. This is literally just 3 gold marks for a few seconds of accidental workshop. You are basically asking to use almost 300 times more, but in a directed conscious way, which is right. It's like, so you're going to take an accident of just a few gold marks and somehow parlay that into a 12 hour intentional gold mark boost. And to me, if I'm Andre at this point, I'm like, okay, you got me. No, that's not what Andre says. Andre says, be more respectful. I didn't ask for any favors. I asked why these are not the rules. Apparently, they are not the same for everyone. Learn to talk to players. I close here. No more for today. Oh, Andre. Andre, you silly guy, you. So salty. Anyway, that just fueled us. If you could see the rest of our some of our comments after that, it's like, now we have to kick these guys' ass. Now it's like, earlier we wanted to, now we have to. You know, they played this. I don't think I mentioned this in a previous game, but for the first like 2 days, this guy's name was Harcold X. He changed his name to Harcold X, and then he tried to reach out to Raya and make bad trades with him. And weirdly, for some reason, was trying to scam Raya out of 5,000 gas. And we were like, what the? Like, that's a red flag. Nobody asks for gas on the first day in the peace day. It's like he was asking to be discovered. It was like this weird subversive plot to like be scammy and sort of, you know, somewhat underhanded and trick your way into a victory. And yet you're not quite smart enough to ask for ask for 2,000 steel, ask for 2,000 iron, right? Something that somebody would be asking for on day one. Instead, he asked for 5,000 gas. And we're just like, okay, interesting. And so that really got us fired up to kick these guys' butts. You can see over here, Harcold has pretty much vacated everything except for those security troops that he's got lingering. All of his troops are being utilized to the maximum. You know, whether it's over here harassing Morocco, keeping them from coming up and attacking France, whether it's defending the homeland of Italy, which is crucial because Italy is attacking east, defending France, and helping to defend Germany. Like, we are working together like a well-oiled machine. Let's talk about what is happening as a result of that. So we planned very carefully. Okay, he's moving. Oh, he's moving. I wondered if Russia would back off from the front here, and he has to. Because here's what's happening. Russia is stretched 100 different ways, and we planned it this way. We've got a good 50 troops down here, 55 troops down here from Harcold who are threatening the south, just all of the south. And in addition, we've got troops coming down now from Austria, and they're all attacking into this very crucial Kishinev here. This is a very crucial territory because we figure once we crush through here, we hit the back country and we run the back roads and we take the oil that has no forts at all, no forts even building, and we just run rampant in the back country. We avoid the forts. We can see some movement here. What's going on here? Yeah, a couple of these are moving back because they sense that is what's happening. So this is a very dynamic game. Our opponents are not bad. They're not bad players at all. But we are getting the best of them. So one of the things that's happening here is these 85 up here in Kyiv are causing them to retreat with a good 14 out of their core right here. Another 14 are moving back because they're sensing that we're going to run rampant in their backcountry. That's a great move, I guess, except for you don't have a fort to retreat to. And what's going to happen here is once Kishinev falls, all 50 of these are going to land here, and whatever's left over here, which I think will be at least, I believe this is about 80 or 90. This is maybe 80 down here. Well, let's just find out how many there are. Oh, I have one of these tools. Yeah, 100. Oops, 100 troops, 2 armored cars in this vicinity are going to be joined by 55 troops from Harcold over here. And I don't care who you drop back to Kharkov here, Kharkov. I don't care who you drop back here. There's not a fort there. So we're going to avoid the fort at Kyiv. I would say this 25 needs to land just to block in these people. So Austria is going to sacrifice this 25. But then I would say that Italy already, you can see, has stopped short, because why throw men into a fort when you now have a path behind the fort? And so this 60 is just going to stand there and say, what's up now? Because the only thing that the people in this fort can do is back up and try to stop this back road domination of Russia. Now, this is something I hadn't seen before. I did not know that there was a fort here, but it doesn't really matter. I don't know why there's a fort in the middle of nowhere. They would have much been better off building a fort here or in especially the double oil, which is our ultimate goal. Now, you can see they're starting to move people away from Riga here, back to, no doubt, man this fort and contain this back roads domination that they can see is happening. Now, just to keep you updated, 50 came in here from Sweden. There were already, I believe, 18 there. So there are 68 there. I'm attacking in with, I want to say, about 72. So I'm attacking in with about an equivalent force. A little bit more, but not enough to matter when you were coming up against a level 2 fort. Might be 1.5. I'm not really sure, but no way I'm going to attack in with all those guys. I'm just not going to do it. What I'm going to eventually do is back off of that, but the threat needs to be perceived as real. So that's why I'm continuing to advance here, is just make him think, I'm coming at you, Riga. We're attacking on all fronts. So my attack here was 72, and this attack over here was 60, which is actually more like 85. These are feigns. They're not real attacks. What's really happening is here, and he fell for it. So the only thing left over here is 15. Now, this was a surprising development. He's bringing back the frontier troops here, which were at the shore. He's bringing them back in because he kind of has to. I don't blame him. That'll be 15 more. That'll be 30 inside of here, 30 inside of a level 2 fort. It's not a level 2. It's a level 1. We can see how many are in there. So 30 in a level 1 against 100 is not great odds, but leaving the shore is a terrible idea because the wolves are at the door. Immediately, I'm not sure how alert Harkold is at this time of the night, but if I was Harkold, I'd go ahead and move most of this 12. Go ahead and move it in. It's ready to go. Let's go. And all of this, what is this? This is going to be 40, 44. All of this 44 lands and attacks with this 100. And then, of course, the rest of these guys come in and land at their leisure because there's nobody defending. So the south of Russia is going very well for us. Very, very well for us. Couldn't go better, in fact. This evacuation of about 30 troops from here, I maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like, oh no, he's leaving with a lot of guys. So 15 are staying, but in a flower defensive formation. That's what I thought. So 15 are staying here, but he just left with 30. So that was 45. And then there's another 15 here. So that's 60. So 60 against 100, not great odds per se, but he's got a fort there and he has a chance, but instead he vacates. And the idea is because we are pressuring Kyiv as well. And I just think our whole pressure front here, all along their front, including the south down here, was well executed, and he's panicking. He's running off. So I'm loving the Russian front. Finally, what we see here is another 50 have left Stockholm here. I guess another 40 and 2 cars have left Stockholm. My concern was that they would move down to Riga and actually start to do some sort of counter attack down into Königsberg, which I never bothered to build a fort here. In the next couple days, with my positive 123 per hour, I intend to get another 2,000 iron and go ahead and build a fort here, because I don't think I'm going to take Riga anytime soon. The main thing was just to threaten this. And how many troops have we kept up here? Probably about 20 from Russia, but 50 from Sweden. And then what's happening with this other big force from Sweden? They're moving to defend St. Petersburg. It's pretty obvious they're moving over for that second line of defense. So they've already given up the idea. They know they're going to lose the backcountry of Russia. So in a perfect world, what's going to happen here in the next day or two is we're going to swamp this and take this Kishinev here. Take this double wheat territory. Double wheat. We're going to take double wheat away from Russia. That's big. To me, you know me, I always think about if we go up 2 wheat, they go down 2 wheat. And what that means is a total differential of 4 wheat. Okay, you got to think about the fact that we go up and they go down. Both of those things matter, and the differential is what's crucial here. So we're not going to sit on that, though. We're going to go ahead and conquer through the backcountry as we move forward, take another wheat. So now we're up 3, they're down 3, differential of 6. Then we're going to attack and take a crucial energy tile, right? So now double, single, single, we're up 4, they're down 4, differential of 8. And if we get this double, they're going to fight hard to keep this double oil. You know, you're going to see Sweden coming in, you're going to see Russia's remaining troops coming in. But what are they going to do? Because here's the great thing. As they try to keep us from cannibalizing interior Russia, we're still going to have 60 in their face right here. We're still going to have 70 in their face in Riga. So if you depopulate these protective zones and try to go back and protect the back countries, guess what? We're still here. We're still putting pressure on you. So I'm loving this. The essential thing is here for us to defend any attacks they might make. And the only attack I can see that they're mounting is the one against Germany. And I'm not that worried about it. I think we've got everything we need to get there in time. This is going to land in 1 hour 22. My supportive forces are getting there in 39 minutes. You know, friendly territory is so much faster. I held these 13 back for a while over here just to kind of lure them in, because I think they're going to Britain is going to lose their army here. They're going to be crushed. And once this army is gone, Britain itself is no longer going to be a force to be reckoned with or worried about. The pirates here are assuring us of that. So there's 50 or 60 troops back here that are just sort of lingering to defend against those pirates. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. This play has been a lot of fun. I will say, as we sign off here, that I've been talking with the leader of Golden Wind back and forth, and we've talked about the game that we played. And it's very interesting because they are playing a game right now where they are mainly the exterior players. So a very similar game to what Benaya is playing right now with the Alt Alliance. There's a parallel game going on. If you haven't checked out those, go over to Mighty Benaya, the YouTube channel Mighty Benaya, and go check out the Alt universe, the Alt League playlist over there, because you're going to see an entirely, almost an inverse game. We are clustered in the middle against people in the outside here. He is clustered on the outside against the enemy that's clustered on the inside. So while I don't envy him that, because it's an uphill battle, there's no question about it, in some ways I do envy him because he's going to have to perfect some high level stuff to overcome that. So the reason I brought that up is I've been talking with the leader of the Golden Wind Alliance, and by the way, who I was always very respectful to from early on. I made a graphic specifically for our challenge called the Golden War. And you know, I've just been kind of very courteous, try to be very courteous the entire time with him. And I think we got equal respect returned. They said they learned a lot from our game. They had a couple trainees, but they also had never been on the outskirts like that with all of their territories. And it turns out that in their tournament game, their November tournament game, they're in exactly the same situation. So it's been really cool because we've talked about between us the idea that last match we played against Golden Wind was actually really, really effective. Really, really, like it taught them how to effectively be those island nations on the outskirts, and it taught us taught us a lot of things. One of the big things we learned, of course, was about how to deal, how never, ever, ever to land aquatic units against a shore, how devastating it is. So this was the graphic I made for that particular battle. It didn't really matter. I didn't cast the game. This wasn't for any kind of public consumption. It was just a sign of respect that I thought it was an honor for us to play against a skilled team like Golden Wind. So I made this graphic, sent it over to them, and said, "Hey, this is my tribute to this game." So we've had a good relationship, and we're talking right now about the games as they currently are evolving. And they were nice enough to say, yeah, we're kind of in a situation now where we are island territories. We're sort of on the what I would call the exterior powers, right, on the periphery, on the outer limits powers out here. So we're talking definitely Morocco, Great Britain, Sweden, definitely Ottoman down here. These are the sort of the island nations that are around. And he said that he thinks he's going to do good in this game, but in large part because of the practice they had against us. So that was cool hearing that the respect is mutual, you know, and we certainly did learn a lot, and they learned a lot too. It's like super cool, man. love this game, man. I love this game. I love the community of this game. Honestly, we're basically a bunch of smart people who don't have anything to prove to anybody necessarily. Like we're not cocky jock type people whatsoever. We're just enjoying a really intellectually challenging game, and when we see someone else playing a good game, like we're just like, yeah, that's great, props, you know. And so I hope we can play with them again in the future. Certainly during this tournament, there's no time for practice games, but after this tournament's over, I hope we can play a few more games with them in that same spirit of mutual respect and community learning, like learning from each other, you know, iron sharpening iron, as we've said before. All right, that's it, guys. Way too long, as always. As always. Thanks for hanging in there, guys. I'll see y'all next time. Adios, amigos.